Who should dethrone every WWE champion? I'm Will. That's Brandon. We're the Cousins of Destruction Wrestling podcast. As always, let's cheers. Talk about some wrestling.
Yeah, we kind of love doing this. I don't know, maybe every other month, something like that. I don't know. There's a lot of new champs right now, so we figured, why not put our crystal balls, our hats on, and we'll just see what we got here.
Yeah, it's going to be a great episode of Raw tonight. Make sure to stop by our youtube.com/CodWrestlePod live stream for it because it's the final John Cena Raw. So stick by tonight, or I guess stop by tonight. It'll be a lot of fun. Let's celebrate and have a good time watching it. But let's get into this. Like you said, we try to do this ever so often. There's a bunch of new champions, all right? So we have a lot to talk about this time. The last few times, it was basically like the same champs, so it was kind of just reiterating the same thing. But let's get into it. And because of the spirit, which is the final Raw of John Cena's career. Let's start there because we normally start with like the Raw tag titles and nobody cares about those things. So let's start with the WWE Intercontinental Champion. John Cena, IC title. Who's going to be the one that dethrones him?
Well, it's just not very nice to AJ Styles and Dragon Lee.
I should have said the SmackDown title.
Yeah.
Nobody cares about the SmackDown title.
Used to be Raw, but not anymore now. So to answer this question, I guess you really kind of have to think about, well, who wins the John Cena tournament? Who ends up facing John Cena in the final match? John Cena is going to hold that IC title all the way until there. In my opinion, I think he's going to end up dropping it. And I got an answer that I don't think people are going to like. I got Gunther. I know we've kind of talked about it time and time again. Gunther has continued to talk about how long he's been a champ in WWE. I think he just loves saying that. So we're going to probably get more of that, get an IC title run with him again. Probably not super long in terms of his IC title run once he kind of just takes it off of John. Maybe a little bit longer than a quote-unquote transitional champ, but I could see him losing it to maybe like a Penta after that. But I got Gunther dethroning John Cena.
I have an answer where it's like what I think will happen and what I want to happen. I think Gunther's going to be the one that ends up winning the tournament and beats John Cena in his final match. Been rumored for a long time. The Gunther-Cena narrative has seemingly been there as long as the Farewell Tour narrative has been out there. So I think that's what they're going to do. Me personally, if Obafemi were to randomly be in the tournament tonight on Raw, if he's the mystery guy and he's able to get all the way there and defeat maybe a Gunther in the final or something like that, I think that would be absolutely fantastic because it really stands by what John Cena has set up this entire tournament to do, which is open new doors, new chapters for other people. And Oba's ready to come to the main roster. He's formidable as hell right now. And if he were to be able to beat John Cena in his final match, I mean, what a way to start out your main roster career. I think that would be absolutely awesome. So that's who I want, but I think Gunther is going to be the guy who actually does it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's kind of the whole discussion with those. There's one route, like the most likely thing, which is kind of like, but
we'll see.
You do.
Let's move on to the ones that we were just talking about, or I just talked about. SmackDown Tag Team Champions, Wyatt Sicks. Who's going to be the one to dethrone them?
Yeah, I put in parentheses, does anybody really care? In a sense of like, hey, I don't really care about these tag titles. Also, I don't really care what team it is that dethrones them. Somebody, anybody, please, soon, somebody. But I guess I got MFTs. That's the whole storyline going with the Wyatt Sicks. I know they had to kind of delay that a little bit, but even Solo this past week on SmackDown is there. Howdy's hanging out in the back after they announced the traditional Survivor Series tag match. It happens before Survivor Series. So I've got MFTs. Am I confident in it? Not really. Do I also care if I'm wrong, though, and it's a Fraxium or a Street Profits comeback, or hey, DIY's doing some weird US Open Challenge stuff, but maybe they do it. I don't really care. Just get the tag titles off of the Wyatt Sicks.
Do the MFT and do it ASAP, and then we can do the Sammy with the Shinsuke and all that nonsense, and at least have titles involved in all of it to get us to emotionally care just a little bit more than we are right now. The Wyatt Sicks are holding those things hostage. They're the most boring team in the tag team division on SmackDown. They have those titles, and it's just sitting there doing nothing. I'm out on Wyatt Sicks. I've been a very big critic of them, and so I don't really want to retread those grounds. But I think that if we're going to be putting the MFT on screen every single week, and they're going to have good 15, 20-minute segments every single week on SmackDown, just throw the straps on them so that you actually have some sort of like kayfabe credibility to that tag team or that faction or whatever. So I think the MFT should just take it off them, and then they can continue doing whatever the hell they're doing with Sami and Zayn and them, but just have the tag titles involved.
Yeah. I mean, this tag title run is in the running for the worst tag title running. I mean, it's up there with like the likes of the Judgment Day terrible tag. I mean, it's bad. So as soon as they can do that, the better.
Yep, 100%. So moving on to the Raw side of things, because what did they call themselves last week on Raw? Dragon Lee said that he wanted
Dragons with Styles.
Dragons with Styles, Raw tag team titles.
They said it in Spanish, but I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know the Spanish one.
I'll have to practice.
Add in AI text of it or something. I don't know. But who are going to dethrone the Raw tag team champs?
Yeah, I don't know. I went with an answer that I think is kind of fun. I don't know if it's really going to be the right answer, but I look at the Raw tag division right now and I'm like, well, I could see them kind of holding those titles for a long time or a lengthy time because I don't really have a whole lot of stock build up on the Raw tag team division. A fun one, I thought, this is not who I wrote down, but maybe a Penta, Rey Fenix, maybe you get a reunite further way down the line, a little Lucha Bros coming back. But right now, I went with a fun team. I went with Los Americanos. Now, does it make a whole lot of sense? No. Am I enjoying what they're doing? Yes. Does it maybe keep AJ Styles trapped in the weird luchador vortex? Maybe so, but maybe that ends up what happens, I guess. And then you can have AJ Styles go do his own thing and just kind of like drop him, push that over there, and then AJ Styles just goes away to something else. Yeah,
that would work for me. I ended up going with Division, Braun and Bronson, because I don't know what they're going to do past SummerSlam. Like right now, obviously, Survivor Series. I see an SS in my head, and that's all I see. I don't know what they're going to do past Survivor Series with Braun and Bronson Reed. And, Punk won the title, and that felt like WWE was pushing a little bit on the brakes on the Braun Breaker, I guess, big push that he was, rumored going to have after Seth Rollins' injury. So in my mind, I don't know if WWE is all in on Braun Breaker being champion anytime soon. So if we need to delay that while we let Punk be champion for a little bit longer, then I think that the vision, being two people, should at some point say, hey, we're two amazing people. Why don't we just go win the titles that are made for two people to win? So you could have the Vision win the tag team champions. And they're such a prominent part of Raw every single week that maybe we could actually get some weekly life and prestige in those tag team titles just through the Vision. So I'd be down for it in the long run.
Yeah, maybe it ends up being not even this version of the Vision. There's obviously rumors about somebody else. So maybe it ends up being like a Bronson Reed and Austin Theory type, right? Yeah. And they keep that spot for Braun Breaker open if he wants to go after Punk.
Yeah, that'd be great. New titles. One of the ones that changed over the past few weeks. Kabuki Warriors. They're now tag team champs, but who are going to be the one to dethrone them?
Yeah, that's really, really tough.
Yeah.
Because you sit there and you think about it and you're just like, God, I have absolutely no idea here. I'm going to say Rhea Ripley and Io, but I don't have a whole lot of confidence in that because right now you kind of look at the tag scene. I want the Kabuki Warriors to have like a really long run with these tag titles. And then it's like, well, all the interesting tag teams that I'm here for right now are kind of heels, right? Like the Nia and the Lash Legend, and Charlotte Flair seems to kind of be confused about what she really kind of wants to do. So maybe a Rhea Ripley, Io, Sky, and the Kabuki Warriors run isn't as long as I want it to be. It's also kind of weird because I have one of these superstars for another answer on our title thing. So that's really kind of what they've done. They've kind of built it up for that. And I hope the Kabuki Warriors get a long, lengthy reign. And maybe it's a team that we don't even see or a team that hasn't even been brought up on TV or made yet. That's probably the most likely scenario.
Yeah, I have Rhea and Io penciled in, but I think that the team that's going to end up doing it doesn't exist. I don't think that they are a team yet on the main roster. It's going to be some two people, obviously faces, because the Kabuki Warriors are heels right now, and they're going to have to team up and go after them, and that's going to be the ones that dethrone them. I mean, there is the Rhea and Io long-term booking there. I mean, this whole thing started with them fighting over Io, so if you want the good guys to prevail at the end, Rhea and Io winning the tag team titles for them, I guess could put a bookmark to the end of the story. So I just said, you know what, screw it. I don't have anything right now. I don't think the team exists, so I'll give it to Rhea and Io.
Yeah, and that's the tough thing right now because they've done such a good job building that up now, but now it's like, okay, where do you go from here? Because a lot happened in this past week where it's like, okay, like there was so much stock built up on that women's tag division, and there still is, don't get me wrong, but with War Games right now happening, and then you have like further down the line stuff that it's like, oh man, I don't see them dropping those titles for quite some time. Yeah. But I also am not creative enough to throw together a team.
I don't know.
B-Fab and Mishin.
Why not? Why wouldn't you? Why would you? B-Fab put on a great performance last week on SmackDown. She can obviously handle Asuka or Kairi Sane. Well, moving on though, we already did the men's IC champion, Mr. Jonathan Cena, and not even Jonathan. We'll move on to the women's Intercontinental champion, Becky Lynch. Who beats her?
Yeah, I think this one is as soon as tonight. I think it's going to happen. I think it's going to happen in the Garden. I think it's going to be Maxine Dupree. Now, maybe is this wishful thinking? Yes. Do I really care about it? No. If somebody wants to fight me in the comments on it, that's okay. I don't really care. I want Maxine to win this title. It's a lot of fun. You have AJ Lee rumors about the return tonight. So why not just have her go ahead and cost Becky the title? Now you may say, well, Becky gets the win and then beats her up and AJ Lee comes for the save. Yeah, that's probably the most likely thing, but I don't care. I want Maxine to win the IC title.
Maxine should win tonight. I don't care how you do it. AJ Lee returns, ref isn't looking, and she beats the hell out of Becky Lynch. Maxine gets one. I don't even care. All I want to see is Maxine Dupree in the Garden with the cheap pop of her winning for 1 week. It needs to be a 1 week, 2 week title reign. I don't care. Becky can win it back like this, or even AJ, because we know AJ and Becky's going to be the feud. But give it to Maxine. I want to see Madison Square Garden erupt. I want to see her run around. I want to see Otis give her a big old hug and Tozawa. So Maxine Dupree's beating Becky Lynch, and it's happening tonight on Raw. And be there in the live stream for it, because we're gonna go crazy.
All right? And I mean, you look at it like you said, it doesn't have to be very long. So I mean, there's rumors about AJ and Becky maybe being War Games. We don't really know what that fifth spot is for War Games, right, for the women's side, but you could have it to where like that happens and Maxine holds the title until right after that, and then Becky comes back and is like, okay, hey, boom.
There you go.
There you go.
It's easy.
Easy fix.
Easy peasy. Other side of things, women's U.S. champion, Chelsea Green. Who's going to be the one that beats her?
Yeah, I think there's 3 answers. I mean, I wrote down 2. But I mean, I think you could say there's an outside chance at Tiffany Stratton potentially doing that. But I went with kind of what your idea was. I went with an NXT person in terms of a Saturday night main event, John Cena's final match, all the stuff about main roster versus NXT stuff. Chelsea Green, being the comedic genius that she is, just feels like, hey, I might be overconfident and end up losing this title when I shouldn't. So I think there's 2 answers. You can either have Sol Ruka. Oh my God, I can't even say the name. I'm so excited. Sol Ruka can do it, or Jordynne Grace can do it. I don't really care which one you do. I guess I would prefer maybe Jordynne Grace, but at the same time, Sol Ruka is also a star. So like, I mean, you're either way. It's 6 in one hand, half dozen in the other. You're going to be excited. So give me one of those 2.
I have Sol Ruka as well. Ever since John Cena did announce that his final match on Saturday Night Main Event, that's going to be a split main roster and NXT thing, where it's going to be a main roster versus NXT stars. I was sitting there like, you need to punctuate it with a title change. I think it'd be a big deal for somebody to get a big title change on that, and an NXT star gets crowned with something. Chelsea Green's the perfect person to do the job, right? Sol Ruka has been on SmackDown a few times. She got injured, so she had to go back to NXT for a little bit and stay off TV for a little bit because she was injured. But now she's back on NXT, which means she can be ready by the time we get to Saturday Night Main Event. And I think people in the main roster audience already love Sol Ruka just based off her short stint of SmackDown. I think it would be great for her. And I think it'd be great for that SmackDown women's division for her to be there on it. So Sol Ruka getting a chance at Chelsea's title at Saturday Night Main Event and winning it. Boom. Perfection.
Yeah. I mean, I think you kind of almost have to have some sort, one of those 2 come up and do that, because that women's division needs the help.
Yeah. Or you, like you said, Jordynne Grace. She was announced when Stephanie moved up to Raw. It was also announced that she was coming over to SmackDown. So I mean,
that's why I put her on.
That's why there. What do we do?
That's why I put her on the list.
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't know. She probably won't be here, but
no Kiana James, huh? Womp. All right, other side of things. Men's U.S. champion, Ilja Dragunov. Don't cue it. Who beats him?
I'm still stuck on the Kiana James part. I don't think anybody has ever said that or wants that, but whatever. Ilja Dragunov, in terms of his U.S. Open Challenge, he takes the idea from Sami Zayn, who obviously got it from John Cena, and it's been fantastic. Some way, somehow, every single week, you're like, hey, I know what to expect, and it still exceeds your expectations in terms of match quality, week in, week out, with different people, everybody getting a chance to shine. But I got a guy that kind of promo this past week in terms of the John Cena tournament. He did 50% of this plus 50% of this is 100% of the times that I don't miss because I'm him. I got Carmelo Hayes doing this one. It just kind of makes a lot of sense in terms of a U.S. Open Challenge. If he does really want to be him and call your shot and shoot your shot, boom, go out there, have a 5-star match with Ilja Dragunov, and give Carmelo Hayes something that he really kind of deserves. I mean, it looks like we're finally starting to get some traction on the Carmelo Hayes hype train again, which is good. I think everybody has been wanting that for a long time. So let's go ahead and let's just make sure we do it. I feel like that's almost the only right answer.
Yeah, it's the only right answer, and that's why I had it. Mello. I think that we're in the prime position to go ahead and shoot him into this role finally. once we get through Survivor Series, once we get through the John Cena tournament, if Melo does end up moving on in that, please make him do that. But then we have Ilja. He's dealing with DIY nonsense right now, but I'm sure we'll get through that and we'll get the Ciampa match soon. And then we need to get on to like his first rivalry where there's going to be multiple matches, I believe. And I think Carmelo Hayes fits perfectly into that. Get him a U.S. championship. It's long overdue on SmackDown. Give us a good rivalry between the two, even if it is two sort of faces, right? I think we can even have just a good fashion. Hey, we have great matches. 1, 2, 3, best 2 out of 3 situation there. Melo gets a title. That'd be great.
Yeah, I mean, he did it with Andrade with the best of 7, right? And every week at that point, we were like, man, these matches are fantastic. And then at the end of it, you're like, well, that wasn't really for anything.
Yeah.
So why not? So why not at least put the U.S. title there and boom?
They had 7 matches, and the winner of it didn't get any. They didn't even get a title shot.
Nope.
What the hell?
Nope. But it was entertaining. I'll give him that.
Doesn't he know all you have to do is go up to Cody Rhodes now and just piss him off a little bit? The second you get the enough, you're in. You get the title shot. So just say some mean things about him. I don't know. Let's move on to the world titles. All 4 of them that we got here. It's pretty good stuff. We got some new champions here. Let's start with the unstoppable force that they have right now. Jade Cargill, WWE champion. Who's going to be the one that beats her?
Yeah, it kind of seems like a storm is coming, and it doesn't matter how much you prepare. You're getting mowed down. Fairly quickly. I feel like there's only one answer here with this one, and that's why we put it here in the video in terms of, hey, this is the easiest one to kind of guess. It's Bianca Belair. I mean, you're going to have Jade continue to destroy absolutely everybody. I don't know when Bianca's going to come back. I know she did an interview this past week talking about her finger and how it's still kind of messed up, and she hopes to get back as soon as she can. They're really just buying time. I mean, we talked about it with Tiffany's reign. Tiffany's reign wouldn't have been as long if it wasn't for the Bianca injury. So we're just waiting and buying time. So we're doing a really good job right now. I know it's still really early on with the Jade Cargill stuff, but I like what they're doing. I like that they're keeping her promos short and sweet. I like that the matches are short and sweet. Just have her continue to run through as many people as she possibly can, and then have Bianca's music hit one time and boom, you can sign me up for that.
Yeah, it has to be Bianca Belair. They're about to go on a streak here where Jade just destroys the entire mid-card women's roster on SmackDown. And I like it. I think I'm on board for that stuff. I think she looks the part, and I think she's doing great stuff in the ring in terms of her what she does in the ring fits that story very, very well. She's powerful and it looks awesome. So there's only one thing that can topple that, which is a Bianca Belair return. She has all that Naomi Jade story that's still there for her to return to. We can kick that right back up, and Bianca's an absolute beast. She's one of the best ever. So it's believable when she walks back in the door that she can look Jade in the eye and give her a run for her money. Those matches are going to be great. Bianca returning will be great. So I think this has to be Bianca Belair. Basically, at the end of the day. Let's go to her counterpart, though. Cody Rhodes, WWE champion. Who ends up beating him?
Yeah, there's really only 2 answers, I would say, that are possible, because you look at that men's SmackDown side of things and you're like, oh boy, you're looking around. It's like that Fresh Prince episode where Will looks around and he's just him. He's just alone in the room. Where'd everybody go? It's kind of like that. It's like, where the hell is everybody? I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to say Drew McIntyre on this one. Now, I know they've teased it time and time again, and Drew McIntyre was supposed to be doing the Jacob Fatu stuff. At this point, I don't really care. I feel like Drew McIntyre needs a championship run, even if it's not super long. And I know people would say, why the hell would you even give him the title? I still feel like Drew needs that moment of getting the title and conquering corporate Cody Rhodes. I personally would love that. He's been doing some of the best work time and time again. So it's like, if not now, when the hell are we ever going to give Drew McIntyre the title is kind of what I feel like. And we've said that time and time again, but I got Drew McIntyre on this one.
I just penciled in Randy Orton. I think at this point, that's the feud that we're all waiting for. We've been waiting for years. They got to pull the trigger at some point between now and Mania, I would assume, because SmackDown is basically empty. Because I'll tell you who he's not losing it to. He's not losing it to Damian Priest. He's not losing it to Aleister Black. He's not losing it to, what else you got on that roster? Ilja, Miz. He's not losing it to those guys. Drew, we can get our hopes up time and time again. And the answer really should be Drew. You can do the tug of war back and forth, but WWE refuses to do so. So if they're not going to give it to Drew, I sit here and I go, well, look at my watch. I guess it's time for Randy Orton because I got no better guesses.
Yeah, that's literally one of those 2 answers. And if you want to say Drew, awesome. If you want to say Randy, also awesome. I did see something that Randy's supposed to come back I believe the SmackDown after Survivor Series. Okay. So maybe they can kind of get that ball rolling right there. He's had some much needed and much deserved time off. So maybe you can kind of pick it up there and see
What are we
happens.
talking about? Joe Hendry just signed to WWE. Obviously, he's going to say his name and he appears in the world title scene. No, that's not going to happen. Let's move it on to the Raw side of things. Women's World Champion Stephanie Vaquer, who's going to be the one that dethrones her.
Yeah, I kind of gave away. I guess I tipped my hand a little bit. I said earlier, a Rhea Ripley Io Sky tag team was taking the titles off the Kabuki Warriors, which somebody let us know in the comments. I'm sure somebody knows a better tag team for that
probably.
one. So go ahead. But I got Rhea Ripley on this one. It's a match that they've kind of teased a little bit with the backstage stuff kind of right away when Steph came up like, oh, hi, I'm Rhea Ripley. And you see them both on screen together and you're like, oh God, yeah, that's kind of what I want. So in terms of me personally, like storyline wise, I know Stephanie's got to go through Nikki and I know Rhea's got the tag stuff and the war game stuff. And I understand all of that's there, right? I am perfectly fine with Rhea coming back into the title scene, the main title scene. I know it's been some time off and some people might not think, hey, it's been long enough. Or some people, if it is Rumble Mania time, some people might be upset that Rhea's always in the main event title scene. But it's just kind of undeniable to me that star power, the feel, the pops, all of that is just so good. And it's Rhea Ripley and Stephanie Vaquer. So like, that's really kind of what I want to see. Those two main stars. You have Becky Lynch you could potentially throw out there, but if the AJ Lee stuff continues to happen, who knows how long that maybe goes on. And then you kind of look at it from the Raw women's side of things. Maybe unless you get like a Rumble winner, I don't really see somebody else challenging Steph.
Yeah, I hate to say it, but it's not going to be Nikki Bella. We're going to get a good feud between them, but Nikki's not going to rip it off of her. And that leaves Rhea Ripley, kind of. That's been one thing that they've teased. Her and Rhea have come face to face a few times since she's debuted, and everybody's just like, yep, give me that eventually. But rumors are that we're going to head into Mania maybe with a Becky Lynch Rhea Ripley feud. And I do think if we do go into Mania with that being the eyed feud, I kind of think Becky Lynch has the title on her. Like, I think Rhea will be chasing Becky at that point because Becky would put her over at WrestleMania is what I kind of see happening in the future. So maybe we do end up getting Becky Lynch losing to AJ Lee. AJ and her go back and forth while Steph does the Nikki stuff. And then we put Becky back in the main title scene. And maybe Becky ends up ripping it off Stephanie. And then we go on to Becky versus Rhea.
Yeah, I don't know. I've also seen reports that maybe it's a Rhea and Io for Mania sort of thing. So it's like, who knows if that tag team implosion ends up happening and maybe they're mad at each other. Or maybe it's just a, hey, we've earned each other's respect sort of thing. I don't really know how they're going to do that. But some way, somehow, it's almost like the Roman Reigns level. Like Rhea Ripley is just undeniable. And like I said, it's been enough time that it's okay.
Yeah, I agree. I'd be, if she walked out on Monday Night Raw, even during all this stuff, and Stephanie was out there and Rhea just came up and face to face, I'd be like, yep, I'm bought in. Mm-hmm. You've been away from the title long enough. Yeah. I'm okay with this.
Yeah,
so.
No Liv Morgan on there, huh?
No Liv. No Liv. That makes me sad.
Yeah, well, I guess if, in our eyes, you'd have to have Rhea take it off Steph and then Liv. Boom, pop.
My personal one is Liv Rhea at WrestleMania. Sorry. I think that rivalry deserves a big stage. We've missed out on too many big-time rivalries that never get to the big stage. Like, we're going to miss out on Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns again because Seth Rollins is hurt. So we're not going to get that one-on-one at Mania again. So I think that, when you have the chance, just pull the trigger sometimes.
Yeah, if I've learned anything about all of the injuries and, obviously like Naomi's pregnancy and things like that, like the timing, I understand you can't just wait for like some of these big things. You got to kind of just do them when you got them because who knows if you have the opportunity, right? Like, that's why the Cody Randy stuff's so annoying.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, give us what I want. Give us what we want.
Especially when SmackDown's starving right now. Just do it. Just do right now. Right now.
Yeah.
I digress. Final champion on our list. It's 2025, and CM Punk is the world champion of the WWE right now. Crazy. And Survivor Series is coming up. It's full circle moment. It's been 3 years, so it's good stuff. Men's World Heavyweight Champion, CM Punk. Who beats him?
That's pretty crazy. 2025, him and Cena hold titles. Zack Ryder's back in the company. I mean,
Cody Rhodes.
What the hell is going on
Cody
here?
Rhodes.
So for CM Punk, I mean, I pretty much put Braun Breaker. I took the easy way out here. I think they're continuing to just build Braun Breaker. I know you said, hey, maybe they're pumping the brakes a little bit, but to me, if the vision is going to kind of keep the storyline of like, hey, I know it's kind of Seth Rollins' personal vendetta about CM Punk, but the whole thing for the vision for me was to just like reign supreme and destroy everybody on Raw, have those titles, hold those titles. I think it's got to be Braun Breaker. You can continue the Paul Heyman stuff, especially if you get an Austin Theory sliding in there with the vision. I know you're not a big fan, but you get a Bronson Reed and Austin Theory, go after the tag titles maybe, and then Braun Breaker can be that world champ. I mean, the pops are still there. It's all still there. I think people are wanting it. I don't know if people are impatient yet, but I think as time kind of goes on, people are going to be like, okay, come on, when are we going to do this? And I think that just kind of makes sense for me. I don't know how long Punk's going to hold the title. I don't know if he's going to hold it all the way back until Rollins comes back, because then Rollins has to go after Braun, right? Because they turned on him. So that just makes sense to me in terms of, hey, Braun takes it off Punk, Rollins comes back, goes after Braun, and then maybe you circle back around, which I know people won't like, but maybe you circle back around at that point and do Rollins Punk after that.
Yeah, I mean, this is a little bit of a weird thing, because obviously they had to put the title on Punk earlier than they wanted to due to the Seth Rollins injury, right? Seth Rollins was obviously going to carry that title for a long time with the Vision behind his back, and we were going to watch CM Punk slowly chip away at the Vision and overcome it and win it probably maybe at Mania or something like that, just like good old WWE storytelling's been for years and years and years. Seth Rollins gets injured, Punk now champion. What do you do? Well, I think the correct answer and the natural answer and kind of the boring answer is Braun Breaker. You just continue the Vision storyline some other way as we get closer to maybe a Seth Rollins return, and Braun does get to rip that title off CM Punk for the time being. So I think that's probably the safe route and the route they'll go. Now the route I want them to go: push Dirty Dom to the title scene in the next 6 months. In the next 6 months, push Dirty Dom to the title scene and get him there and let him beat that old man in a cheating fashion. That would be absolutely awesome. I'm gonna start the narrative in my mind that we're pushing Dirty Dom to the moon, even though it's probably not gonna happen. But a man can dream. Dirty Dom beats CM Punk for the title. Hell yeah!
I mean, you got to think you have a feud with him at some point, right?
They talk so much.
That's what I mean. That's what I mean. You got to think they have something. So he's going to go through one old man and his dad at Survivor Series. He's got the Judgment Day stuff hanging out in the back, but then he'll go after CM Punk, destroy that old man. He called Cena an old man. Why can't he just go after all the old people?
Right. Dom, I don't even think Dom does it on purpose, but the way he just shit talks people, basically, he like builds a character thing where like he started randomly calling himself the king of the luchadors. Well, now he beats up on luchadors from time and time again, wins the AAA title. Well, now he's made fun of his old deadbeat dad, and now he's been calling John Cena an old man too. It's like, okay, maybe his new character could be beating up on the old man stars. I think that would also be hilarious. So this dude just like accidentally stumbles into character arcs for himself, and I think we should just freaking ride the wave because dude's awesome and the crowd loves him, and he's freaking Dirty Dom. He's the future. So a man can dream. Get that title onto Dom. Get the title onto Dom.
So he has both. So he has
tonight
both.
On Raw.
So he has both titles then.
Both.
The AAA. You think he has AAA at that point?
No. By then we'll have somebody rip it off him, because those cheaters down in AAA will find a way to rip the title off Dom, because Dom's perfection. Anyway, those are our picks for who's going to dethrone every single WWE champion. Again, a lot of these are completely up in the air, and we didn't even have some tag teams, so we'd love to see you guys in the comments what you can kind of cook up, because we love talking to you guys, and this is obviously completely subjective, so just have fun with it. But I want to emphasize again, please stop by the live stream tonight, youtube.com/CODWrestlePod, because it's John Cena's final Raw. Obviously, my favorite of all time, one of his favorites of all time. It's going to be emotional for every WWE fan ever, and watching it with all of you guys would be an absolute honor and be awesome. So please be there for that. For everything else for COD WrestlePod, go to @COD WrestlePod, COD WrestlePod. We have a link tree in our bio to take you to all of our social medias. Like, follow, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. We appreciate you and are confident you'll like our content. But I'm Will. That's Brandon. We're the Cousins of Destruction Wrestling Podcast. And we will see you next time.